Hi, and welcome everyone. This is Lavender Sky Panther. Today is Sunday, July 18th, 2021, and today's topic is called Skies Humming, as in the sky is humming with activity. It is show number 101, coming on the heels of a previous show I just released, which has all of the covers, the highlights of shows 67 through now, so I recommend you go check that out too if you can. Otherwise, this is going to be covering the sky observations to date. Do have a look in the description box below for the exact time frame. And here is an alternate cover slide as I was toying with which one to go with yet again. So I put them both in, and this one I was just going to call Skies Alive. And we're going to cover actually both of those scenes coming up. But before we do, I'm combining the Welcome and Words, Wisdom, and Spirit of the Day messages pages again. And I'd like to say good day, osio, hao, buongiorno, guten tag, kia ora, jambo, kedu, buenos dias, bonjour, ni hao, dzień dobry, konnichiwa, dobro hunya, annyeonghaseyo, boitarji, dobry den, aloha winala, kalimera, hudenda, and good day. And today's messages we're going to take from the Daily Crystal Inspiration Oracle deck and the Mystical Shaman or Shaman Oracle deck. The crystal one is we've got Turquoise, prioritize your health. And I would just like to add that everybody, meaning every body, literally, is one of a kind. So take a moment to listen to your body. Let it speak to you. Be sure to really listen to determine what it needs, and equally importantly, what it does not. So I think all too often we're in a rush to, heal this or do that, and we don't just stop and take a moment to just mentally, telepathically, very, quiet your mind and just literally ask, imperceptibly. I mean, it just can be telepathic. Ask your body what you need. What would you like to heal? And you'll be surprised if you practice this, it will tell you what it needs. And what I say when it does not need, I think it's kind of clear what stance I would take on what's going on in the world right now as far as putting anything artificial into your body that doesn't need to, especially if it's forced or coerced or there's an air of desperation by others trying to bully you to do it. But anyway, the body really does come with everything it needs. And occasionally, yes, we need little helps here and there, maybe with frequency or, if you like crystals or acupuncture or even Western medicine. It depends on the severity of what's going on. But, listen to yourself above all. Don't listen to anyone else, your body, and above all what you need and what you do not. Now, we're going to go down and look at the hummingbird now. And I like to look to the Native American meanings for things like things in nature, just because they are more connected with nature, in my opinion. If you do a basic internet search and they talk about some of these things, you're just going to get a pale and often misdirected or misguided meaning for some of these things. But I would just like to say that the quote is, hummingbirds are viewed very positively in most Native American tribes. They are associated with beauty, harmony, industriousness, and integrity. In legends, hummingbird is often portrayed as a healer or as a spirit being who helps people in need and sometimes plays the important mythological role of fire bringer. Now, it's interesting to see what other meanings this evokes in you, but I do know that a lot of people report that after a loved one has passed, they see a very auspicious sign. They see a hummingbird show up or several, and especially when they never ever see any. So there seems to be some connection with that too. Okay, now we're going to look at the 26 on this card. We're going to look at the positive aspects of it. And as I've mentioned in other shows, if you have any numbers that seem to be popping up and you want to know some of the meanings, positive meanings to them, have a look at the site. Angel Numbers, Joanne Sacred Scribes. It's an Australian site. And if you just internet search that and throw in whatever number you're interested in, it can be 1 digit, 2, 3, 4, whatever. You'll get some interesting and nice meanings. So this one is, your material and earthly needs will always be met. So have faith and trust the universe will always provide. Follow your divine inner guidance and allow it to prompt you to take positive action in your life. Now, I know a lot of times it doesn't seem like that is happening, that our needs are being met, but actually they really are, to the extent that I remember hearing somebody talk about one of these spiritual metaphysical circles that, you don't just see a ton of dead birds everywhere every day, like somehow nature always provides, and it really does. And I remember working with design and construction. There was somebody was trying to remove a lot of fruit trees from a site, and these fruit trees actually dropped. They were on a private property, but they dropped fruit over onto public walkways. And there was an opportunity in a public city setting, one of these hearings for the public to come and speak. And actually a homeless man came up and said, hey, you've got to keep these trees. And the panel was asking him, well, why? And he said, well, they're food. I rely on those trees. They drop the food that I need. So never underestimate what we've got around us and their ability to provide. And of course, there's all different levels of this, but whatever is going on in your world right now, I wish you all the best, tremendous abundance, love, kindness, that all of your material needs are met. And for you and also for myself, I wish that for everyone. All right, let's get going now into the sky observations. I don't have any nice little segue. We'll just get into it. So if you're new or returning, I send out a huge heartfelt thanks. Thank you for being here and welcome. If you are returning, you may want to skip this bit. I'm just going to go over some of the basics for anyone who's new, if you care to listen to this bit. So what I am doing is I am just keenly observing the skies all around me, wherever I am, wherever I go on a daily basis. Most of these images, if not all, are going to be coming from Miami, the skies overhead in Miami, Florida. And what I do is just take pictures of things that just seem or feel weird or look weird in the skies. Weird meaning or strange that I've lived on this planet for many decades, and I'm just noticing a lot of anomalies and also some very wondrous things going on, especially in the last 3 to 5 years. I think changes have been happening more distinctly and observably from 2012, 2014, and around there. And things seem to really be intensifying up until now. And so I just take an original photo and then I enhance it. So when you see enhanced photo, it simply means that I've edited attributes of the photo, such as color, saturation, contrast, and brightness. And that's really all I do, is up or down those levels to kind of highlight and draw out of any regular photo what else might be going on, because the camera phones have a vaster range of photo and light sensitivity than our eye. And in a lot of cases, I feel what's going on and can even get glimpses with my naked eye of what's going on. But the enhancement really just, you'll see it just helps by leaps and bounds. So you'll see at the lower right-hand corner, I say strange cloud activity in quotes. That means the cloud in quotes is that I suspect there to be cloak and craft going on. And I've really just started noticing this from like 2018. It's been really mind expanding to see these things start to pop up. And if you look at my very first show, you'll see why, what really caught my attention, and why I'm really started to question the skies and take even closer note of what's going on. So when I talk about cloaking, I'm talking about cloaking material, which can be, I'm just going to use this to go to plasma, meaning something heavier and denser than water vapor that can really hide things well and linger in the air for a long time. When I'm talking about craft, I'm talking about objects. They can be actual, craft like ships, or other objects like sensors or other type of instrumentation we might not even know what it is, because I'm referring to that more likely than not it's of ET origin or extraterrestrial origin or some type of ET advanced technology. I'm saying that because some of the things I'm observing are either so huge or so complex or intricate in nature of how they're cloaking and coming and going that I don't really believe at this point in time that just humans or military are doing it. And it could be some collaboration with military and ET, but I also kind of doubt that. Some might be, but nothing that I've been observing directly. Also, sorry, when I say craft or objects, it could be something that's 3D, three-dimensional, that you could theoretically walk up and knock on it, touch it, or it could be something interdimensional that phases. I'm sorry, that's not phases. Well, it phases, but it seems to kind of come and go, very ephemeral, very ghost-like. Or it could be something that is 3D, that is phasing in and out of state, or it could be a supernatural phenomenon like air wisps or air elementals. I'm going to drop in some letters just to help keep focus, these are just things that I flag as things that really jump out on a photo. But there's going to be so much more going on in any given photo that I can't get to keep also a good running time on the show. So just if you see something that I, quote unquote missed or you wished I covered, just let me know in the comment section below and I'll be happy to include it in a future show. All right, enough said there. So let's get into it. Hold on one second. Okay, I'm back. So in this scene, we're looking west at sunset, the tail end of sunset. Just see a lot of strange activity. We've got these lines are parallel going this way, and then we've got something bulging up this way. This is going on angle. This looks like an object emerging. It has it has like a solidity and a body, denser body to it than like this like wispy stuff in front of it. Same thing here too. And this has a specific shape, like a end of a pointed ellipse. So there was enough here to merit looking at it with enhanced enhancement. So now you can really see why I enhance things. We also pick up color signatures when I do that. And in this case, whenever I see something red-pink, there's really something special going on with that phenomenon. So do take a look at the description box below. I cover what that could be. Sometimes it might be something just locally generated. Sometimes it's something bigger beyond. And you'll see what I mean if you look at the description box. Anyway, so here I'm just flagging some things of interest. I think, it's clear why, with A and B and C also starts to look like this strange shape with these bright white points. And as I always say, whenever I see bright white points, and these are symmetrical, by the way, they've got little angle pieces to them, and it's got a interesting spacing. Whenever I see bright white points, whether it's a crystalline overall shape like a triangle or just on their own, it tells me that there's something cloaking or some object or some type of tech cloaking beyond whatever's happening, with it. Because especially when it's bright white, on the background, it's going to be a solid color or grays, but whatever the case, the points are, very conspicuous. And so, see, there's one here too. So it also could mean that something's coming out to the foreground and it's picking up reflections somewhere, or it's self-generating light, whatever. So just look at some of my previous shows for more detail on that. Anyway, that catches my attention too. And again, this little thing popping up, this is a really straight line with a slight bow to it, and that doesn't occur naturally in clouds. So I think this overall thing is a craft, and that this is the edge of a craft. We're just seeing the outline of it for some reason, with some type of rigid structure, embedded in here or on the top of it. See what you see that's going on in there, though. Then this is going to be the original to the cover slide, and you can see what kind of cloud is that. That's no natural cloud form. It was also really a dark smoky color. Had some weird line parallel, like some kind of wave activity coming off of it. This thing is diving in at B with a specific shape. And actually, this shape looks like the shape of a craft that was distinctly stood out in the show where I have the epic nighttime skycraft battle. Reminds me of this one. And then C, it looks like something's trying to emerge here too, of its own shape. And then we have other weird things again happening off here at E. Then, with enhancement, we get at here's that little, whiter thing popping up out of here. Looks like a machine part popping up out of this cloaking mass. We get this a little more visible of something trying to emerge, and this is shrouded in cloaking material wafting around it, but that to me is a craft, no question about it. That would be the bow, and that would be the stern and the back. Can't get to too much more, but we see now a clear line popping up here. So to me, that is a feature integral with whatever this is, and I'm calling that like the point of a craft. And then something else is happening here at E and D again. Look how that's arcing down while everything else is kind of doing its own thing. That's not natural. That doesn't happen naturally in a sky system. Being here decades on this planet, things just usually float along, cumulus clouds, very predictable. But in the last several years, now we get this totally different. Okay, we're going to zoom in, and this was going to be my alternate cover slide. And so again, we see this thing. It looks very clearly to me a craft or two pieces or something in tandem, like hooked up to each other, with some wafting cloaking material around it. And this is also something trying to emerge. And again, kind of everything that I already said applies here too. All right, then we're going to just take a slightly different enhancement on this to pull out different things. So I've washed this part out a bit to get over here on 8.3, what's happening at the tail end of this. And again, there's like a parallel part of this. So is that just like this thing hooks around and it's part of one overall craft, and we've got like smoke or, vapor coming out the back, maybe. This looks like little cloaking tufts of material coming around this thing. Jury's out on what the heck this thing is exactly, but look, we have a straight line and a straight line here, almost to a right angle, so that can't be a cloud, a natural cloud. That's got to be cloak and craft. Here's another, just another way to enhance it, just to get at what's going on here, this piece, see if we see anything else a little bit better in a different way with a different enhancement. See what you see in there. Then we come to this view, and this is looking, sorry, it's not east, it's west. That's going to actually apply for the next few slides. I was editing this a little too late last night. But anyway, just a lot of strangeness happening in here too. Some fuzz outs, darker things happening beyond. This is going up vertical while this is going straight horizontal. This has a weird, loose, character. Just so much was strange about this that we're going to look at it with enhancement. And the color signatures is very telling on this particular photo, because we've got indigos and purples, and then we have warmer rust colors, and with like indigo aura around some of these things in the cloaking material. And so it just tells you that there's two dissimilar types of material going on. So it can't just be a cloud, got harder objects hiding in cloak. And then this is going off. This has a straight edge. Looks like a separate independent craft cloaking here. Separate one here. Something in here. It's dead level. And then what's this thing doing popping up with this weird stuff? And then we get these little white points again, these crystalline forms happening. So I'm just saying there's cloak and craft all going on in here. And then we also look at the trails, like look this coming down on this angle. There's a lot of mysterious stuff happening there. Then we're going to pan over to the right a little. Actually, we were looking at this element before where it was like the point of a ship. Hold on. Okay, I'm back where I was calling this like a bow, popping out in the corner of that other slide. And then that very straight line happening at E. We get some interesting color flashes in unusual places that defy light physics happening in the front and in the background. Just again, weird shape at C overall, plus a triangular form emerging. So let's look with enhancement. And once again, the color signatures here are very telling. That's a pure triangle with cloak in front of it. That's another distinct shape with cloak around it. Then we get a very different kind of cloaking thing going on here and material and probably even vibratory rate because it's a different color. And then look at these two things. These are two pipes or sticks popping up out of this thing. So to me, that's machine parts sticking up out of, this cloaking craft. We've got these two little weird symmetrical legs popping off down here, shrouded in cloak. What the heck is going on? And is this even tech like a metallic craft, or could this even be an organism? I talked about bioorganisms and seeing things that look very much like natural elements. This almost looks like a beetle with like two fangs coming out and two legs that are all in cloak. Anyway, see what you think. D.1 also looks like a more solid mass with symmetry. This thing goes up at a peak, and these look like, two symmetrical things coming off of it. With a point here, looks like the edge of a triangle. To me, this is all advanced tech. Some has kind of some type of human or ET hand on it. See what you think. All right, here's another interesting view. There's the point of what I was looking at is what I thought was the point of that ship with that bar across it. And there's like two little elements. But now I'm just going to relabel these, starting fresh with A through D. Because now we're looking at these strange elements. They're like standalone, where we've got a triangular shape. So let's look at this with some enhancement. And yeah, there they are. Another triangular shape here. I'm going to keep going because I think I zoom into this whole area. Yeah, here we go. Now we're looking at these little elements. Look to the right at the enhanced version. We've got a clear triangle at B.1. Something happening, straight thing with mass coming down this way. Another triangle over here. So there is no way this stuff happens in nature. And then we're going to look at it again. Then we've got like weird things starting to pop up here in the upper left at E. So let's look with enhancement. And then look at, we have a triangular shape here. It looks like echoes of triangles. So is this just we're perceiving parts of an overall cloaking craft, like that's the ridge line of it, or are these independent cloaking elements? And over at F, I don't know. See what you think. Again, I think these speak for themselves. I'm going to leave these to you to look at on your own time. See what else you can see. It's one of those things, the more you look at these photos, the more you find. And then we're going to zoom in on this little cluster. And with enhancement, again, we just see more of like a solid triangle. This looks like its own solid shape in here. What's this doing? It's a little solid thing. Looks like this whole thing just burst up out of this little enclave. See what you think is going on there. Then we're going to look at this view of it, and we get some interesting things happening. So we've got a very straight line. What is hiding in here? I can't tell you for sure, but again, the more you look, you're going to see very interesting things with intelligent design to them, especially when they have geometry, and perfect geometry at that, with symmetry. Okay, I think we only have one or two more views of this thing. So, look at this. On the left-hand side, then we start getting a lot of disturbance kind of happening. Agitation tells me there's movement going on, and especially up here at E. So we look to the right, and look at that. It looks like the top of an arrow, looks like a craft with a vapor trail behind it going this way. We get a pure triangle cloaking here at F.1. Look at this. We have a triangular shape up here at B.1. We even now start to see a hole or a crater or indentation or a machine part. Something's happening in there. See what you think is going on in this scene. Okay, now this is looking in another part of town, toward the evening, looking west. And what caught my attention here was just the intense white glare of what I'm calling the artificial sun, or artificial sun tech, solar simulator, call it what you like. Look up patents for the solar simulator, applied for and pulled in the 1960s if you're not familiar with the concept. But anyway, there's some tech up in the sky that is completely obscuring and kind of outcasting the original sun and the effects of our original golden yellow sun. Here we have a straight edge at B at the bottom of this quote-unquote cloud. Again, we don't get straight edges with normal cloud forms. We have a triangular top of one down here. So we look to the right and we can see some of this stuff a little bit better. My point on the 8.1 is no natural sun would just be contained within behind a cloud. We would see rays coming out and all of that. So this is highly suspect, and again, all arrows point to artificial tech happening with this. We even see, look, at the edge of a circle here and something happening here. We're getting weird shapes in front of this. So I can't really tell you exactly what that is. Sometimes I have more questions than answers, but I don't even really have theories on this other than that's artificial tech. Okay, let's get going. Keep going. Now we're looking, let's see, are we looking west on this one? Sorry, I didn't update my directional views on any of these really well. We're looking south, so ignore this. We're looking south and we see, this is in a park, and we see A and B. I just started to see these shadows emerging. This had a straight line to it, and this had a weird pattern, looked like a long elliptical, what do I say, a pointed ellipse. And it just looked really odd. It started to emerge. And sometimes when you're observing the skies, you'll just see this in a moment and then it's gone. So you just got to really kind of observe the skies for a while to catch some of these things. See, up here is like a sky imprint of a triangular form. There's a lot going on in the scene. So with enhancement, we don't get it too much more at A and B other than they start to look more object-like. So let's look again. We're going to zoom in on just A and B for now. And, you know, definitely, look at these little, even these cloaking patches are actual perfect rectangles, and they're sitting with a certain kind of spacing that seems to imply there's a logic and a design to them. There's this thing that seems to come down this way. This is going this way, and this looks like a very straight edge of a triangular form. Hold on. Okay, sorry, my voice is all over the place today. Anyway, we have a very straight edge here and here. So this looks like a flattened, splayed out triangular form. So let's take a look at this with enhancement. And boy, do we get to it. So look at this. We definitely see a solid object. Now, what I thought was just like these weird kind of pillowcase-shaped puffs really turn out to be structures. So look at this. It looks like we have an opening, like this is the end of a flattened tube of some type. And then we have like a weird little trail. So maybe this thing is moving this way or it's shooting something out of it. I don't know. And then this, you know, again, we see a more solid object. Now this has some curious parallel lines too coming this way. So I don't know what's going on there, if we're seeing different little mini craft in the foreground or if this is just like a feature attached to this overall thing that's protruding out toward us. I don't know. Something a little weird happening here. Again, I don't know if that's part of an overall craft, like a little side wing, or that's a separate little entity traveling with it, like a companion thing. I don't know. See what you think? What's also interesting here is we have symmetry of a diamond-shaped thing now coming, kind of emerging. It has a different color signature. It looks very kind of foggy and ephemeral. See what you think could be going on in this scene. Then we get to this one. Again, I love when we have a backlit situation. So the sky was really hazy with what I'm calling the artificial sun behind, because it's just pure white and our natural sun would never be that color. So we get a nice effect though, because now I can see these tracings, which seem to have intelligent design to them. We have a line going this way, a line cut out incised this way in the negative, if you look. And then we have this, you know, just this overall weird pattern. A regular cloud would not do that. We have a triangular shape at B, and then we get these little, look at these strands of weird stuff fraying. It looks very organic at C. So you better believe we're looking at this with enhancement. And then we get this red-pink sphere going on, this color signature in the background. Again, take a look at the description box below of what could be causing that red-pink effect, either locally on this on site here, locally in the atmosphere, or further beyond, offshore, so to speak. So anyway, we've got B.1 again, we've got a triangular form. What is going on here? So we've got a triangular shape, we've got a darker thing, looks like it's masking in there, maybe up here too. It's just strange. So is this the overall one thing, or is this several parts and pieces? Another triangular form here. What is going on? What is that thing, and why is it there? And why is it so low in the atmosphere? And then we have this, you know, these strands have very specific shape. That's a hard curve. Something else is springing off of it here, and something's going off in this direction. These little bits are happening back in here. What the heck? I mean, all I can say is there's cloak and craft all over the place. And at 8.1, this actually looks like a sphere with a hole or like a well in there. I only have questions on this one. See what you think. is happening there. Okay, now this is another view. Now this is looking north. I got it right on this slide. So we have a sky imprint starting to form. It just seemed too perfect of a curve, that seemed like intelligent design happening. And then we have like this thing extending out. Looks like it has an opening, like a perfect tube, coming toward us like a horn, and we're seeing the end of it, or the end of a trumpet. We have something weird popping off of here. Oh, and pardon if you hear dogs barking and stuff in the background. I'm recording outside today. Okay, now we have a ring. This actually looks like it's coming down like a hook, or a ring is forming, and other little sky imprints happening. So we're going to look at this with enhancement, and here we go. Here we see that white part is a pure ring with some like cloaking material or artificial cloud floating in front of it. I don't know what that is over here. And here we see again, this is a pure line, and now we see that it has dimension and shadow to it. So this may even be an object or part of a bigger object happening back here, because we have a pure triangular corner, form there at B.1. And then we look down at C.1, and again we see what looks like the end of a tube, or an opened tube or something, and something weird coming off of it. I don't know what's going on. Something strange is happening here as well. Looks almost like we have a bulging cross pattern in relief popping out here. Something straight happening here with dimension to it. To me, this whole thing is riddled with cloak and craft. Also, when we see this, it's all choppy and fuzzy, even to the naked eye. I'm going to go back one so you can see it. It's not as pronounced, but you can tell this is all choppy and fuzzy, even to the naked eye. That tells me that my theory, anyway, I call it staccato cloud, and I call it when there are cloak and craft or multiple craft in the atmosphere, hidden, above, that are generating electromagnetic wave activity or other frequencies to disturb the local atmosphere, and that's what I think is happening here. Okay, now this one's interesting. On the left, I could see this clear line, things moving up in a strange way. We've got a red sky happening at sunset. And then we look to the right with enhancement, and it's so much more apparent. So we've got, look at this, color burst over here. It wasn't this exaggerated to the naked eye, but it also wasn't this pale as in the left. So the real version of the color was somewhere in between. But look at this at B.1. And it's a little fuzzy and extra hazy because this was really getting later toward 8:30, and my camera phone can only take so much, pick so much up in the night ranges in the darker sky. But it's still enough to see that this is a straight, hard element here. Then something's going this way, and then something's popping off this way with trail behind it, and more stuff happening over here. So this has got to be some type of cloak and craft, or things launching off of a craft, to have that movement. This one, too, if you look at it, even looks like it has a huge fin at the top, almost like a dorsal fin of a killer whale. Really bizarre. Little piece down here looks like we're just seeing part of a piece of a bigger thing. Maybe this is just an appendage of this craft beyond, is what I'm calling it. See what you think it is. Okay, then we're going to look at this scene, still looking now west-northwest. We're going to look at with enhancement and look at this. What is going on? What's looming back in here? And why are we getting this bright white intensity up here when we have pure red back down here? Again, look at my description box below of what could be causing that. We get a weird fuzzy shape here, very ephemeral looking. To me, that could be a craft. And then look at B.1. That's two holes, elongated holes, with like a membrane, vertical membrane. And, it has this one specific shape, like a capsule shape or like a button, but that has intelligent design to it. You look at that. There's no other way to go about that or call that. And then we've got this really strange, weird shape here with something maybe popping off at the end of it, or this whole thing is all one piece of something. I don't know. What do you think that is? I have no definitive answer. We're going to look at it with different enhancement now to see what color signature started to emerge over here at C.2. And I'm just showing you because we've got this red intensity. So why do we only get an arcing band going this way in the visible range, even with the camera phone? It's just really strange. And this little golden burst back here. None of this and the white, blue-white up here makes sense. Just from a natural, ordinary perspective. Something has to be going on that's either supernatural or advanced ET or other tech involved. And then here, again, we can see that shape with the dividing line and the two mirrored, holes in it or whatever they are. I don't really get any more clarity of what's going on here, unfortunately. But these look like two prongs off of one object, and it looks like it might have even zoomed in this way is all I'm seeing. See what you see, though. Okay, here's another interesting view looking to the northeast of everything that was going on over to the left of this slide. And then I started to see this very rounded shape and something coming off of the bottom. I started to see red-pink signature up in here. So with enhancement, bam, this is what we get. Look at this. It almost looks like a hole. It's like a whirlpool, like going down there. What is going on with this thing? And then we see like darker movement here and here. It looks like a splayed, like a mirrored design. So if this is a bar and then these are two prongs going off the back. So I think there is cloaking craft going on in there. We're going to zoom in on that place where I saw like a well or a depression going down. And then I just really blew out the color saturation on purpose just to really get at what is going on with the color signatures. And we get the red-pink is doing this kind of a thing. So what the heck is that? This looks like a little craft, like an arrowhead shape with a trail, if you see the movement coming behind it. And then here we start to see maybe individual objects floating here, you know. It's hard to say really what's going on. See what you think. All right, here's just another view now. Again, sorry about the directionals. They're all wrong on this thing. This is now looking northwest again. Now, what's interesting thing here is we're going to see the reds here and then like golden right here. So it's not like it's red all over the place where it should be. There's a distinction between the colors. And then we get these weird things again emerging out of the sky. So we got that cylinder shape going up that way, or is this a leg off of a bigger shape, you know, like this? Because this looks parallel to this, and with something flying out of it. That could be the front of a ship with something flying out of it, or these are standalone, I don't know. And then again, we got that weird little thing that I said had the two holes with the vertical membrane with something weird coming off of here. What's going on down here? There's a very distinct shape, you know, kind of arced, like a stick-like thing, cylinder thing. Then we get this thing, looks like it's either a trail with a craft at the end of it, or this is a solid object. I don't know. You know, is this something flying out of a bigger craft? You know, triangular shaped craft. This looks like a craft because it has dimension to it and shadow. We've got one arm here and one arm here. They're perfectly parallel and rigid shape to the same length, and then it goes to a point. So I think that's an overall craft with something flying out of it and something happening here flying next to it. See what you think, though. And then here we get these extraordinary reds, and then look right here, golden. So again, this is the concept that there is a red, pink body just offshore, if you will, or it's happening local. Look at the description box below, and then that would be our natural sun in the back that's being, you know, totally masked over. And again, why do we have white up here when we have red and yellow down here? Here's another view, again looking northwest. Ignore that at the bottom. And then here we get just some of the color ranges, and then, you know, just see these striations floating through. And I think I tagged this because it looked like some features were popping out. I don't think it's very apparent on this view, though. Here's another view, again looking northwest, block out the little title block. But let's look at these weird shapes that start to emerge. I mean, we've already looked at these guys. Let's look over more toward the right and study these a bit. And with enhancement, again, we get that red-pink thing happening, you know, kind of spherical thing, signature in the back, with the red over here and the gold over here, and then pure white blue up here. So anyway, well, let's spend more time over on these. So we have this weird shape, again, something flying out of it. Looks like we have that ring-like thing and that, you know, again, what could be coming out of the ship. Here we get a little more definition on this thing down here. Again, see what you think. And then this is just a panorama looking, this is the northwest to the right and the southwest, south and southwest to the left. And we just get an overall picture now. So again, here's that golden and whites happening over here while red's over here. What's going on with the sunset? The true sunset, I think, is supposed to be happening over here, and yet this is pure red on fire over here. And then here we see a little bit more like, what the heck is this overall thing? We've studied this a few times now. What's happening? You know, look at this straight line. And is this all part of one thing with some objects floating around next to it, like scout or companion ships? Or are these all individual pieces of all kinds of different things? I don't know, you be the judge, but why is this pure white and white blue up above here too? Let's see what you think is happening. Okay, then this is just another view looking southwest. This is correct this time. And this was not a full moon. It's partial. But I did start to see something caught my attention here, the overall kind of light red-pink. I saw a little bit of a distinction of signature in the sky, and then with enhancement, I can see why I saw that. And then there even seems to be something with structure kind of hidden in here. I see something that could be a craft cloaking back in here. But again, what's interesting is we have the red-pink signature, but then it goes to white-blue. What is going on to cause that? All right, one more view of this little, I guess I was really enamored with this this trio of things, and now we're looking at it later in time to see if we get any more telltale evidence of what's going on. Decided this time to just take it to a black and white or grayscale, just to see if we can see anything in any different way by taking out the color. I start to see individualized bits in here. I'm still not quite getting at to what's going on, although this seems to be more apparent that this is more of a solid object. Yeah, I'm not sure. See what you find in there, though. Okay, well, this is the photo of the day and the close of the show. This is just a pair of geese in a park in Miami, Florida, and they were walking single file most of the time. So that was pretty interesting. But anyway, I want to thank you for heading over this way here a while. Wherever you are, whether it's daytime or evening, have a gorgeous now. And just remember, sending so much love and best wishes are coming your way, and tremendous peace. Lavender Sky Panther, bye.